Well, hello everyone. Today I have on my channel Miss Dani Henderson, the wonderful person who created the greatest event in disclosure of our times, the Galactic and Spiritual Informers Connection. And today we are going to talk about this beautiful creation. Dani Henderson, welcome. How are you?
Hi, Elena. I'm great. Thank you so much. I'm just unbelievably, incredibly excited to share the speakers of this year, the final roundup. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me on your channel.
So, Dani, what first, in the first place, moved you to create this project, this idea?
It's never more important than we have the people that have all the answers to the universe, to the fabric of creation, to the real hidden technology that's been kept from us, a humanity, the discovery of who we are as self, as beings. And what I've done over the years is come to meet by the most incredible ways the people that are now standing on the G6 stage, on the Galactic Spiritual Informers stage. And they all are part of the most incredible jigsaw that's been hidden and kept from us, and the teasing and the abuse of the hierarchals that have kept it. But now we stand strong in truth and we disclose fully everything that has never been said, uncensored on that stage.
And this is going to be the third year, the third JSIC soon. We're going to talk about this in details. It's been a great success. The first JSIC, I had the honor to be a speaker on stage, and the second as well. It was amazing. But the first was a revelation of a mission. You wanted to create this by love for humanity, by love for disclosure. And what you did, I think it even went beyond your own expectations, didn't it? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it really did. I mean, the terror and the nerves of doing something, knowing it has to be so clean, one line, and that one line was me, and putting everything I had owned, whatever, on the line to make this happen, knowing that I couldn't allow an interference. I had to keep straight. And I'd had physical interaction, physical meeting with our ET brothers and sisters, which further confirmed I can stand anywhere and I can speak directly to the truth that I know. They are physical. Our ET brothers and sisters are physical beings. They are not omnipresent at most densities. They are not omnipresent. They're real people and they're here to support, but we've got to do the work. So me and my love for humanity, pushing, bringing the right people together to speak from the heart amongst their comrades, amongst their friends, amongst their colleagues, to say to humanity, it's okay, I got you. Here's what you didn't know. Here's what you need to know. And here's how I know. Because humans, we're so clever. We feel truth. We resonate with truth. And so these are the greatest people in there are others, of course. We can't have everyone on that stage. We've got 13 people. That's a lot of people over 3 days, but I had to get them together.
And you picked an amazing panel of speakers every year, and the public really enjoyed it. There are how do we say, core beacons of disclosure that are coming back every year, but also every year you renew by you give a chance to speak to new whistleblowers and witnesses. And it's quite fascinating because each year it's different, and there are always little surprise you add to it, and that's absolutely amazing. To my own experience, it's a gathering. It's a gathering of souls who are on the same frequency, kindred spirits. I mean, I don't follow the backstage of everything, but you said that there are people who came to the JSIC, and who, every year is the same, who meet soul family, even persons from their own soul cluster, and even love. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, in terms of love, like romantic, physical, sexual, sensual love, we have three couples that have met and fallen in love, and they are walking the journey. This is over the last 3 years, and it's the kind of place where the people, something in the heart tells them, I have to be there, I have to be there, I have to get there no matter what, and they do all that for self, and they make it happen for self, not to sacrifice themselves, but to make happen what needs to happen, and then they feel, you can't ignore the resonance. You can't ignore that feeling of love that we all create together. The speakers, the audience, everyone together is breathing in tandem. And it creates something. It drops barriers. It allows people to say, hey, I had the craziest life. No one believed me. And the person beside them saying, well, I'm an Andromedan. How do you do? How do you diddly do, dude? It's beautiful. No one's judging. It doesn't matter. There's no need for a mask. You be who you be, truly, whether you're on stage or you're in the audience. Yeah, it creates that love connection. And then people that never had friends were always the black sheep. Well, that's pretty much all of us that come, always felt like the weirdo. They find people that are just like them, that have lived the life they've lived. And when you meet those people who've lived the life you've lived, you find home on a planet that is really, really suffering and struggling, and has been. But now we're in that liberation. So now we have our friends, our family, and our beloveds and lovers moving forward together. We're unstoppable. Jessic.
Yes, and meeting the frequency of people. When you meet physically, you interface with the frequency of someone, and then you know the frequency of love, of truth. You resonate. You know who is who. And in the light side and in the dark side, because we had some visitors during these conferences who came as attendees and who really realized that it wasn't their calling as well, such as people who start to criticize. And JSIC is really like a crystal. I'd say a crystal reveals who you are. And JSIC is that. It reveals the true nature of human being, the true nature of who we are, and we find each other. Talking about criticism, it was very interesting because there's a lot of conferences happening all over the world.
Oh, so many. And more and more in the Galactic train.
Promoted, people go, they're happy, they're unhappy, blah, blah, blah. But there are few, and I would count it on the fingers of my hand, events who got criticized badly, openly, publicly, because these events are through disclosure. And the deep state doesn't like that. So they are trying to discredit these events. And JSIC is one of them, because JSIC breaks all the barriers. JSIC just goes up the roof of disclosure. And we are really bothering the deep state by doing JSIC. So by coming to JSIC, it's a victory against the dark forces, because it is only the truth that is attacked in these times. And this is really another proof, that this event is really something amazing. It's the truth on stage, with people who have had real experience in the secret space programs, real experience off planet, and they are bringing their testimonies. And there are also real ETs coming, flesh and blood, real galactics, in the public, as security from the Galactic Federation. I know they sent their agents. We met them. But this year, Dani, there's going to be real ET even on stage. What says you?
Well, I am beyond thrilled. As you and I both know, and we're very clear about not teasing or baiting the audience. Why would we? All you have to do is look at the list of speakers. I mean, what do you want? Jam on it. I mean, it's the most amazing lineup ever of rock solid, goddesses, godheads, whatever you want to call them, icons. They're not gods, of course, but just to use an expression of the best of the best, the highest of the high, in terms of love and proof and honesty and real-time physical experience, which is why they stand on stage at great risk and have sacrificed much to be where they are today. But knowing that we have ETs every year, people that look just like you and I, Elena, and that so many people in the audience met them. Alex Collier, of course, comes every year. He'll be there again the whole 3 days this year with us in the audience, meeting the audience and hanging out with the audience. And he also confirmed, and that's great too, that other great men and women who've spoken for many, many decades, who are on that stage this year, validate their own personal experiences of the shift in frequency they feel around somebody who's not from here, either from inner earth as there was and will be again, and from upstairs. And again, Jerry Wills will be standing on the stage, who's a full-blown, physical, beautiful ET. And when he speaks, he radiates. I know we'll speak more about him as we go through the speaker list for everybody. But yes, Elena, it's so beautiful. The UFO craft show up every year. The real physical ETs show up. We have military personnel who are human from the highest levels of the good military, not the shadow military. And as far as the deep state, as you mentioned, which are the shadow governments, the shadow families, the bloodlines, it all blends together. If people think, oh, this is about galactics and aliens, or this is about Satanism over here, or this is about space programs, it is all one thing, my darlings. It is all one thing, one planet with a lot of corruption on it. And what we've done is kick open the doors, shine the light on everyone, and we're all holding them accountable. And there's nothing stopping it. It's way too late for that. But it is beautiful and wonderful, and so much to say about it.
Oh, yeah. And coming to JSIC, as I was saying, in itself is attending JSIC is an act of rebellion against the deep state. I would put it like this.
Who would just nothing more than gum on my shoe, baby girl, gum on my shoe.
Listen, Dani, we do you want to go and look at the beautiful website together, and we're gonna go over it, and I'm gonna share the page. Okay, here we go. So here is the beautiful website, Galactic and Spiritual Informers Connection. And look at that, people. You see my mouse cursor going on the screen. Look at the stars. Look at that. So amazing. I can't stop playing with it.
Mm.
Okay, I need to get it on because I just play with that hours. So we reveal the uncensored true history of our planet and solar system, showing the proof of our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters. So you have a link to get your tickets. But before, let's go down. So there's a video here we're gonna listen to.
Planet Earth. This is where you are going to meet those who are so far ahead of where the collective is. This is the group that's moving
quite a way in
to take humanity into our true nature of love and freedom.
We are not as a planet. There are other consciousness, other people, other civilizations who are here assisting us and who are walking around.
This is really the premier event on the planet at the moment. Those drawn to this information concerning extraterrestrial life, secret space programs, understand that they're star seeds. They know that they are focused on understanding what their extraterrestrial origins or connections are. GSIC gives an opportunity for people to come to one place for that to happen.
This is my planet, your planet, our planet. My planet, your planet, our
So, oh, there we go.
Conference, it's a gathering. The C in GSIC doesn't mean conference. It's for connection, where people who feel they belong to somewhere else all the black sheep of the family, all the ones that were told they were crazy. Well, we come and we find that in fact we are the normal ones, and we find our soul family.
This convention, this conference, this connection is to bring us all together. We've already had first contact many times over. There's about 15 people in this audience who are real life, full blood ET.
Being blessed to have a different perspective of another race of beings. They would question why we would do things and why we didn't know better. They would question why we kept giving away our power. They would question, why do you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on?
There's a very real and tangible effort to silence the information. This conference is one of the best vehicles for keeping this information alive and accessible.
And a lot of people can share his experience because before some people joking and mock, and it's not like that now.
I cannot believe that there aren't 50,000 people sitting here right now, because they need to know the truth of their existence, their origins. They need to know how much we're harnessed and controlled, and I had no idea.
Jessic is the absolute leading edge of freedom on planet Earth. This is where you are going to meet those who are so far ahead of where the collective is. This is the group that's moving the needle to take humanity into our true nature of love and freedom.
Okay, I'm going to stop here because we've seen it. It goes in a row, in a row, in a row. And we will put it at the end of this video. We'll add it again full. So here is the beautiful website. So it's a beautiful video of introduction. So where is it located? Dani, can you tell us more about the location of this beautiful event, please?
Yes, so it's in a town called Westminster. And that is the Westin Hotel in Westminster. It's beautiful. It's much more countrified. The nearest airport's Denver. That's why it says Denver, Colorado. But it's outside of Denver. So it's a 25-mile taxi cab or rental car journey. And it's surrounded by the beautiful trees. There's trail parks, hiking parks. But on the other side of that is a ton of restaurants, and there's bars and movies, even if people want that. Whatever you want to do, it's there, it's available. And look at the skyscape, the expansive sky around that hotel. Another reason why I chose that hotel, so we can easily, clearly call in the craft, the real ones who are going to be there anyway in attendance, as they have been each of the years that we have shared Jessic with the world. The first 2 years we were in Orlando, Florida. We took the light there. All the people that came brought their beautiful lights. And this year we're bringing the light to Westminster, Colorado. So excited.
Yes, and this is the founder of Galactic and Spiritual Informers Connection, Dani Henderson.
Awkward. Moving along.
Moving along. So this is if you want to subscribe to receive some more updates and information.
Yeah, it's really important. Even if people don't come, Elena, sorry to talk over you, my love, but this is how, guys, because our channels are always constantly stricken, got a strike or taken down. If you get on this and you can connect, we can give you the latest videos, the latest speaker updates, what's happening, the latest technology on your planet that's coming out to access the human biome for full well-being, let's put it that way. So just sign up, connect to us, and you'll be with us on the database, and you won't miss out on one thing. There's no way because that's the website connection. They don't touch that. And they're not going.
That's
yeah.
Yeah. So let's go up, and now there is a menu there. The JSIC 2024 event. I'm going to click on this. Or you want to show the speakers? Where do you?
Yeah, we'll do the speakers. Okay. The list of speakers.
Ooh,
and in no particular order.
Meet the speakers. Oh, that's.
So here is Elena Stanley, a mystery for the Galactic Federation of Worlds, archaeologist, extraterrestrial contactee, and a mystery for the GFW. Elena has shown physical evidence and proof of the existence of ETs. their way of life and their technology. Watched by the echelons of science and technology, Elena strives to awaken the people of Earth to her incredible power. Her international best-selling books include The Cedars, have inspired millions by revealing the hidden history of humanity. Elena Danaan, to me, is the forthright, the most incredible individual being, a woman who has physical evidence, physical proof, who has written and still writes. We were just talking about the books you're writing even now. I mean, you can't just focus on one. There's been too much that's happened to you. And now you're watched by Aerospace Corporation, British Aerospace, all the NASA, of course, because you're ahead, just like David Adair was. You're ahead and you're bringing information from your first physical hand contacts, not made up, not fantasy. And now you've twisted everything from where it was, the structure that was in place by the DS, the Deeply Stupids, into the light you are. And now they're obviously running behind the cart, which is where they belong, but, you know, stomped into the ground. But yeah, so Elena will be on that stage for the 3rd year running, Ladles and Jelly Beans. And we are so excited and delighted to have this great lady.
Thank you, Dani. I'm very honored. I'm really honored. Oh, look who's here.
The one, the only Dr. Michael Sala, the world leader in exopolitics and understanding covert operations of Space Force and Earth Alliance. Dr. Sala's historical work is referenced as the most important historical and galactic information of our time. The man is dedicated over 3 decades reporting on hidden projects, hidden technology, space programs, dark funded programs, black operations. He has risked life and limb, as we know, to bring forward so many whistleblowers. Now, as time has gone on, some of the whistleblowers that had programs, inserts, Trojan horses, whatever you want to call it, that were planned from a lot of these young men and women's childhoods, they can only go to a certain level and then they spin out. And we're seeing some of the former, what we thought were good whistleblowers, we are seeing them spin out. We are seeing them fall into alcoholism, drug addiction, mental situations, out of control attacks. And that's all right. You can witness for yourself, people, not by getting in gangs and groups, but just by feeling into your heart, looking at the people that Dr. Sala has brought forward over 3 decades. Look at them now that position themselves at the top of their game in disclosure. And now you will see the mental collapse and decline of these people because they can no longer hold the light. And this is a beautiful point to make. They can't hold the light or the frequency that was installed over the planet where everybody could be kept in line. So now that people can't be kept in line, the disclosure people who were lying, some of them didn't know they were lying. They had inserts and Trojan horses and, you know, mental problems. They can no longer hold the light because the darkness that was holding that false light has collapsed.
Very good.
Moving on.
Yeah, very
true.
Very true. Oh, now we have the handsome French man.
Oh, he's so beautiful. Like when you see that picture, you're just like, he's just so happy. Jean-Charles Moyen, who was abducted by ETs as a child and recruited into the French military off-planet secret space programs. He was targeted, has always been targeted for his extraordinary psychic and healing abilities. He reports on the arcs, what's inside Mount Fuji, teleportation, how to jump portals, and off-planet rescues. As a film director and producer, he's gifted his real-life experiences onto film for the world. His unique abilities astound humanity, and he shares how we can use ours, no matter how deeply buried. Jean-Charles Moyen is incredible. What a resource for understanding, what the human being can do, the powers that the human being has. Jean-Charles Moyen came into this world almost fully self-realized in his innate abilities, his telepathy, his teleportation. And what we're coming to understand through him and his work and his great movies, his great films, that he is showing us what we are capable of. Now, the only other person I ever heard of, and I am not comparing them like for like, so please don't be silly, but the name Jesus Christ comes to mind because I know he was a fully self-realized human that came fully awake. And I see Jean-Charles not as Jesus Christ, so I didn't say that, okay? Because people like to spin nonsense. But this man, Jean-Charles, has far more advanced technology abilities, organic technological abilities in his human frame that we are all able to do too. And he's just reminding us and showing us the way. He's so devoted to humanity. He's one of the most emotional people I ever met. He can be such a beautiful, tender, loving, sweet, crying, feeling his feelings. And on the other side of that, you better watch yourself. Right, Elena?
Totally right. He is amazing. Jean-Charles Moyen has natural abilities that are beyond this world. And look who this extraordinary woman now comes.
Dr. Christiane Northrup. I call her the Global Health Ambassador, and I cleared that title with her, and she was quite happy with it. This lady has been around for 5 or 6 decades in healthcare. She's the one who championed, natural childbirth, the ways to birth, and if somebody needed help, how to do it. She wrote books like Women's Bodies, Women's Health, and Diaries of a Vampire, Dodging Energy Vampires, and many, many, many of you would have seen her on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and she at one point was, named one of the 12 most trusted doctors on the planet. And then she started speaking out against and rebelling against the untruths of the wellness industry, and has been totally sidelined. But don't worry, you can't hold a true goddess down. She is a powerhouse. She speaks around the world still to this day. She'll be on that stage again. Last year, I think her presentation at GISIC was one of the single most shocking, because all she said to me was, Dani, what do you need? And I said, you just bring the truth as you know it. There'll be no kids in the audience. You go for it. This is a disclosure conference, Dr. Christiane, and we are here to disclose, no holds barred. Well, I think a few people were so shocked into frozen, gaze at some of the images and information that she brought for us, and she's doing it all over again this year. Dr. Christiane Northrup is a true legend. When they line up the people on our planet, Elena, when the war is done, Dr. Christiane will be on that front stage with the other people that should be on that front stage.
Yes, and I think she really deserves a Nobel Prize, this woman. She's absolutely incredible. Tony Rodriguez.
Tony Rodriguez, what to say about that man? I interviewed him 2 days ago on his new book. Now, he was a little tiny boy, 10 years old, kidnapped by grey ETs on the orders of a satanic dad who was in Tony's class at school. Now, as it goes, we see a lot of children who are either in the very gifted programs at school and children who are very much in the struggling ADD, yeah? It's very rarely the kids in the middle, very rarely the children in the middle that are selected for programs, unfortunately, should any be. But anyway, so Tony was taken from a gifted program by this 10-year-old boy's dad, who wanted to teach Tony a lesson because he's such a man, this satanic brute. So Tony gets abducted, goes through all kinds of horrors, gets sold as a sex slave into another satanic family in Seattle, is experimented on, pushing to the point of near-death experience, where these so-called doctors are assuming that they are doing good things for the government. And this also happened in the sex slave environment, where they like to torture children to the edge of death. I know it's hard to listen to, but we can't turn away. If you want to know what's happening on the planet, we need to face certain things. And this young man has grown up to be the mature man that he is, and he's held it together for us for such a time as this. And I couldn't respect this man more. Tony Rodriguez, the most loving, hugging, whatever the torture that he went through, something inside him, in his soul, in his light, didn't stop him from loving back. And not as a defense mechanism to keep himself safe, as because he is so loving. The information we've learned from this man on what happens on Mars, what technology is there, what programs are they running with the Earth military, with the American government, okay? Also on Ceres, the Star Colony, where there are other slave programs where they capture humans, where they've made soldiers go and work there too. Now, I'm not going to get into the time balance, the time warping situation, because that's Tony's wheelhouse. But Tony Woodriggs is one of, again, the greatest speakers of the true realities and the dimensions of this planet, of this lifetime right now.
Oh, and who's this beautiful lady? Oh, tell me
That
about
bird. Well, she's just a very passionate human who desperately, deeply loves humanity and desperately, deeply wants the world to have every possible chance to free itself from the constraints of its individual being, its family ancestry, its off-planet connections, its inner earth, its everything. And most of all, to know that this is my planet, your planet, our planet, and we have taken it back.
Yes, and
Moving on.
Yes, you are a beautiful, beautiful person, and your heart is really compassionate and devoted to humanity. Oh,
Wow.
a very beautiful lady. Tell me about her.
Dr. Lee Merritt. Okay, she was a former naval surgeon, performing surgeries on Navy men and women inside. And when the pandemic was revealed, she came out speaking against atrocities in the military ranks and was thus for just removed from everything, from every badge of honor, from every top of the American surgeons, president of the American surgeons. This woman is a fascination. She is uber passionate. Now, I've got videos of her on my YouTube channel and my Rumble channel with her, Dr. Christiane Northrup, Dr. Rainer Fulmich, who is still in prison. But the three of them did a beautiful drop with me on the Rumble channel. She does not hold back on the atrocities, but don't guess what she's going to talk about. But what this woman doesn't know about the Khazarian mafia is not even worth writing down. She is a font of information. She has gone right behind the scenes, exposing the military, but way, 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 way more. She is a golden nugget to this year's GISIC. Make no mistake, Dr. Lee Merritt.
Beautiful. And another powerful and beautiful woman.
Nikki Allen. Okay, there are some people in life where you say their name when you can't help laughing. And when I laugh about her, is I love her deeply. I love her heart. And she's the kind of, she's just one of the funniest people that ever lived, as far as I'm concerned. She's so real. She's also somebody who suffered worse than most people I know, with illness, with car accidents, with things happening to her. And like me, she came into the planet with her eyes wide open, seeing spirits, ghosts, ETs, seeing it all. And she comes from a long lineage. Now, she's the seventh of the seventh of the seventh. So in her ancestral lineage, and these are mapped throughout time, great sages of the past have the same pedigree that she does. Seventh son of the seventh son of the seventh son, for example. She falls into that lineage as being the daughter of. And she's a great female connector to angels, to the spiritual realm, because this conference is galactic spiritual. There's a galactic heritage that belongs to all of us. There's a spiritual heritage that belongs to all of us. And we are informing on that, creating this connection. That's why I've named it such. What we did last year with Nikki was she took us into a beautiful meditation for those that wanted to, and took us to the point of meeting loved ones, animals, where we can take care of their own grief in our bodies. Some of us are never able. We remain paralyzed, frozen emotionally from the sudden loss or the loss of a loved one. What this woman does is she helps to connect to the pain, not to go into it, but to love on it, to release it. And those of us that connect to the angelic realms, she takes you there. And we need not just keep the brain and the stories and the fascination for all that we've mentioned before we get to her. We need to remember that we're here to drop into the heart, to drop into the soul, to drop into the solar plexus, to drop into the lower parts of the body, the lower chakras, for the full body healing. This is important in our ascension. And this is part of what Nikki Allen does. An amazing lady.
Amazing lady indeed, and I can confirm. And meeting her in person is shivering your soul because her frequency is so high and so angelic, I can confirm, and that it really transforms you just to be in her presence. It's an amazing experience just to be in the same room as Nikki Allen, I can confirm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Who is he? Tell us. I know him, but tell us, who is he?
So he sent me this photo. This is Jerry Wills. He is the full-blood ET. Now, I've got a 2-hour broadcast on my channel. It is absolutely beautiful. If we weren't promoting Jisic right now, his would be the first video you see when you click on my channel because it's wonderful. This man tells the story of remembering being a newborn baby, being held by a mother figure, looking through the back window where his father's sitting on a spaceship, inside a spaceship, and coming to Earth and being dropped off on Earth and left almost freezing to death because the military got the time wrong. Can you believe that? Him at the time of Eisenhower, and he's pretty sure it was Eisenhower that put a loving finger over this little baby alien's head because there was a program agreed with the Eisenhower administration to bring in certain newborn babies from off planet to help speed up the psychic spiritual process within humanity. And Jerry Wills was part of that program. So when I was saying to him, right, send me a picture, he sent me a couple and he sent me that one. And I said, you know what? The silver hat, let's do it. It's funny. And it doesn't matter to me. I'm not here to make sure everybody's, doesn't get offended, because that's, if someone gets offended by one thing, that's because they chose to be offended by that thing. That's got nothing to do with me or Jerry. So I said, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to use that photo because the man has had more attacks than you could imagine from people saying, how dare you say you're an ET? And he's like, well, prove that I'm not. And he is a prolific healer, a prolific psychic. This man spends hours and hours and hours with individual people in person or on the phone, radiating his natural frequency, his alien frequency. And the healing stories are beyond next level. I will say to people at this point, Elena, there is just not enough time. I know how important it is to bring all these people to the world stage. So everyone at least has a chance to know who they are. They all deserve 3 hours on stage to speak, but it's just not possible to do in 3 days. So Jerry only has, like most people, an hour to emit to the audience, but he will be there with his lovely wife, Kathy. His gifts and his radiance are like nothing I've ever experienced. Even when I think about Jerry, because I've connected with Jerry, I remember his frequency. That is a magic that humans are able to do, especially when we connect with an ET like Jerry. We can remember that frequency and pull it back in, and the healing continues. I mean, he can talk more to this than I, but this is the one and only Jerry Wills, ET, a visitor from a distant star system.
And it would be an honor to connect with his frequency. Oh, look who's there, Mr. Dan Winter.
Dan Winter. Dan Winter, he's another one that makes me smile because of his childlike exuberance in this very cleverly put together package of, physics and Planck and all these different areas of physics and science that he has walked into. I believe that he's a man who has advanced others' technology to other levels. I made sure that his technology was at our conference last year, and many of you got to try it in the vendor hall with the lovely Hannah. But this year we get Dan Winter for 1 hour speaking on Zoom. He is unable to get into America at that time. He's also running conferences the same week. But because he's in France, we'll actually be able to have him on Zoom for 1 hour. So you'll get he'll be presenting a little, and there'll be a time for some Q&A with him too. Dan Winter.
Wonderful. And Dan Willis, tell me about it.
Dan Willis, again, over 30 years, when he was in the Navy, working on top secret elements back in the day of Morse code, he actually witnessed a gigantic craft coming out of the ocean, and has since then been on this never-ending journey of discovery. This man has been behind so many technologies that would have, should have, could have advanced humanity, but were then what we call catch and kill. We call it catch and kill in journalism. We call it catch and kill in military situations, or where they're shutting down technology because the pharma companies don't benefit by people healing. They obviously want to keep them coming back for their, their pills. And Dan Willis is at the forefront at this moment on the planet, ahead of anybody else, on crystal technology, as you well know, Elena Danaan. So I'm going to hand over to you while you explain more about Dan Willis and why he is number one on the planet for crystal technology right now.
Well, Dan Willis is, as you explained to us, he is interested. His life mission is about disclosure. And he has a special call about disclosure into the technologies of healing and crystals. And he has worked with Dr. Marcel Vogel as an assistant, and he knew him personally. So I met with Dan Willis, and one thing leading to another, we ended up communicating with Thor Han's younger brother, Jen Han, who was at the time student in terraforming. And he started to answer questions Dan had about crystals. And from here, it just took up to a new level where this became an official disclosure project, where it's been going on for 2 years now. We have had communication with Jen Han, who is now working on Mars on Ares Prime Station, and he's working at the terraforming of Mars. He's learning, training, and just working there and answering the questions about frill technology. So he gave the blueprints of a frill technology generator using a crystal that Dan and his team of engineers, actually there were 2 teams working together. Chris Esson is part of this team, for instance. Kent Noon, there are a lot of very known engineers and very skilled scientists and engineers in that field. Last year at JSIC 2023, 2023, last year in Orlando, Dan Willis was on stage presenting this device, this technology that was the result of a disclosure, direct disclosure from alien beings. And he activated on stage, and everyone could feel the energy coming from it. It was absolutely mind-blowing, and you could come near it and put your hands and really feel it. It was absolutely incredible, so it's an honor to see Dan coming again. So that's going to be really, really exciting, Dani.
Yeah, and again, it's advancing technology, because Dan gave us last year how to make a frill generator, which is what our upstairs brothers and sisters use to power up machinery, power up their living environments. And because of the way that our planet was repressed by Edison, JP Morgan, who insisted on having the direct current tower to tower to tower for electricity, for example, which meant that every single individual household on our planet was forced to pay an electric bill, which is just stealing because it's free energy. And so what we're doing, because the bad guys have failed to be, lovers of humanity and only lovers of money and power, We obviously are erasing all of them, all of their systems. And at some point, the whole world will be privy to this frill generation of warmth and heat and probably internet connection, all that kind of thing for free, as it should be on this beautiful planet. And so that's so exciting too, to show the world where we are at, what we already had, and how our world is going to be that benefits the all and not just the few.
Yes, absolutely amazing. And now we have this amazing, beautiful lady, Melanie Charret.
Melanie Charret, a really special ancient soul, originally from a lineage of beings called the Gemen. And when you are in her presence, when you look into those beautiful eyes, you see it, you feel it. There is a whole different frequency, similar to you, actually. I would say that if I was to put two females or even two males, but you and Melanie, because I know you both physically, and I feel the frequency of you both, you have the most similar, which is the most ancient of most of everybody else there. Just to give an idea of how high and special that Melanie Charret is. It came to pass that Melanie lived in France, lived near a military base. Again, it's so many children who were taken by the military, and it's often their ancestral heritage, their families, grandparents, great-grandparents, parents, and down it goes. The gifted children. Melanie was taken into French abusive situations where the military do experiments on children. Some of them make it to survival with their physical bodies and minds, and some of them do not. And Melanie shared last year what the child torture programs that she went through that are very similar to what Tony Rodriguez in the American government went through. And hearing again from Melanie Charret from France, from the French military, again, we start to see the truth emerging that all of the militaries on the planet are connected. They all have underground DUMs, deep underground military areas. There are tunnels connecting everywhere across the world. There are maglev trains, magnetic levitation trains that go from one side of the world to the other, same as craft, supersonic. I mean, it's just all there. What this lady does is brings the reality of all the other hybrid children that were experimented on, mothers that were taken for breeding purposes. And then these horrible people do awful experiments and have done. Again, I know it's hard to hear, but we can't turn away, because if we don't stand for what's wrong about that, people will think they can do it, and they cannot. This lady still physically rescues children off planet. This lady is still devoted to the happiness and the joy and the insurance of a long, happy, healthy future and respect for our children. And Melanie Charret, more than anyone, really does know that if we don't take care of our children and our young ones, then there is no future. And this is what she's been dedicating her mission to. So that's Melanie Charret. Could not speak highly enough of her.
She is a hero. She is a hero. A woman of our times. Oh my goodness. David Adair. Oh my goodness. Dani. Oh my God. Arman, tell us about it. Oh.
I know, I got him. He is so funny. And that's so lovely as well, because some brilliant men, they're as boring as arse. But this guy, honestly, I've had a few phone calls with him now, and he is just a giggle a minute. He is so funny. And because I'm an idiot, I'm silly and mucking around. Oh my God, he's so great. He's such a great man. Brilliant beyond brilliant. Now, the first thing I want to say is how he even came into my stratosphere was through Dr. Michael Sala, who interviewed him and then had a 4-part series. If you want to know, guys, who David Adair is from his own words, go to Michael Sala's channel. There's 4 episodes. It is absolutely mind-blowing. So then I set about, because he doesn't do many interviews at all, And anyway, long story short, JP helped me and Dr. Michael Sala helped me connect with David Adair. And I call him Rocket Man. Many people have. Let me just tell you that when he was 17, this man was building rockets that were far more advanced than what NASA had. NASA, as it injected and run by the Nazis, Project Paperclip, guys. I'm sure most of you watching this know that. From World War II, many of the scientists, nefarious but brilliant minds of Germany, were allowed to come into America. They've been running your government. They've been running NASA. It's true. I know it's brutal to hear, but we got to get past that because these are the people on this stage bringing the truth to you. And David Adair can tell you so many stories. And one of the stories he tells is that he built this brilliant rocket and people were so incredibly amazed by it, knowing that it was the best of the best of the best. But then David realized they wanted his rocket to launch nuclear arms. And David, a young 17-year-old beautiful man, decided, you ain't having it. And he blew his own rocket up. So to repay him, the American government sent him off to Vietnam. And they deeply hoped that he would die and be killed. He was captured, he was tortured, but he survived. You should hear the story of the tiger he comes to eye with and how he telepathically communicates. And then what happens? David Adair is again on the highest level of love for humanity, compassion, passion, a genius mind that only wanted the best of technology to advance humanity, like Dan Willis. David Adair is an absolute cherry on the top of everything. Now, I could only get him on Zoom, but you are going to have an hour with David Adair, question and answers. And obviously, we're going to make sure when you come up to the mic, it's one quick question, because as many people as we can to feel the frequency, to listen to this great man. Obviously, we're going to do that. So you are welcome, everybody. This is the greatest lineup. And there's still one more, but we can't announce him yet. And it is a man. And I said it before, we can't announce him yet. But I mean, to me, this is like having like Elvis Presley, the Rolling Stones, you know, the Beatles, like all the, you know, and I know there's a lot of nefarious nonsense in the music and the frequencies there. But if I was to explain in a nutshell, do we realize, Elena Danan, what we have on this stage in one place for 3 days? Do people realize what a gift to the world this conference is?
It is an incredible lineup of people, and I think you've done so well to gather them and to have all these people on stage. This is absolutely incredible, Dani. It's a historical event. Every year it's historical, you know. Incredible. So what can we know more about this event, JSIC 2024 event? I'm going to click on this page.
Yeah. So so get your tickets, and there's different kinds. We're almost out of the dinner and disco. You can get a ticket that includes a dinner and disco event, which is really good fun. A lot of people want to have a dance on the Saturday night and, you know, mingle and have a glass of wine and, you know, a nice dinner. So we're doing that. There's obviously the standard ticket, which gives you everything pretty much the same as the golden one, but it doesn't get you the dinner and disco. But there is just so much to look forward to. I also want to point out to people, there's a really nice discount, 15%. If 3 people come together and buy a ticket, so one purchase for 3 tickets, you get 15% off. A lot of people share rooms. We have my JSIC Facebook page. People are meeting there and connecting with each other. It's a private group. We have Disco Tina's Telegram groups, and there's people coming from all over the world, and they say, I'm nervous to fly by myself. I'm going to the conference. And I was going, don't worry, I'll meet you in Sydney Airport. I'll meet you in, you know, Christchurch Airport in New Zealand. I'll meet you in, you know, we're at Hong Kong or whatever. People are traveling to JSIC events from all over the world and connecting with each other on the way and sharing rooms if they need to. And it's a beautiful thing. The gold package tickets have almost gone, guys. I'm not going to, tease that one. They've nearly all gone. So if you want to get in now, get in now. But it's wonderful. And then, Elena, for me, one of the most exciting things is Skywatch at night. Like, we're going to be stepping outside. There's a lovely outside area, beautiful lights, pretty lights, and we can all lay down and call in the craft. And we're going to have a couple of people standing and calling in, the craft.
And
yeah, I
we
love
have
this.
been, yeah, we have been watching the crafts every year. They appear above the hotel, and it was quite an incredible sight. Look at that! Look at that! Special evening event, Sky Watch. So JASIC brings in the scout ships, UFO motherships, orbs from the space arcs, and other phenomena in real time as our star families show up and prove their physical existence. This year, you can lie down under the stars or meditate in groups as you watch your star families connect to you. You get to make history. And this is included in the tickets to all be together and do this Skywatch. And it is not disappointing. It doesn't disappoint. I mean, every year we see ships, and it's quite interactive also. Here is a little bit more about the hotel. You can see the rooms, the hotel. Look at the sky, the picture on the right. It's, oh my goodness, the horizon. It's amazing.
Yeah, and that goes all the way to Boulder, which is, and again, Boulder's only like 14 miles away. I went there when I went to stay in the hotel to make sure it was good enough for us, for JASIC and our attendees, because I like to do the best of the best for everybody. It was beautiful to go for a drive and go into Boulder. And so people come for the 3-day event, but they might want to stay a couple extra days and go explore Boulder and other areas in Colorado. It's such a beautiful, and we're going at a really gorgeous time of year on purpose. I picked September on purpose. So there's just so much. If we see at the bottom, I'm still interviewing vendors, because not every vendor is a fit. We don't want anybody coming in claiming to be queen of the universe and all the other galaxies and doing nonsense like that, ungrounded, unproven, or trying to switch people's chakras around. Or I'm sorry, I'm not interested in any of that. I really do protect the attendees that come to the best of my and our team's ability. But we are interviewing vendors to come. We want to bring the best technology to help the body, the most beautiful, crystals. I am wearing a new one today, actually, Elena. I think you might be too. We got some advice on Tiger's Eye. I'm not selling these, guys. I'm not bringing them. I bought this the other day in my hometown, Tiger's Eye, for, again, protection. The energies are shifting and changing. Our crystals are actually upgrading as our planet is upgrading and ascending. Something else to remember. We're feeling different frequencies now, different resonances now. A lot of people have beautiful things that can help us and our bodies, our minds, and our soul. So interviewing vendors, and we are still open to look at volunteers. You're welcome to go to the website here, click on the FAQ section, click on vendor or volunteer, and then the team will look after you from there. So I think that's it, Lainey, at this point.
Okay, contact us. And we've been through all the pages. Let's see the menu again. More event recording. Oh, tell us about that. Yes, because for the people who cannot attend, what is the other option?
Yes, so we have, obviously the best thing to do, the best of the best is to be there in person, physically connecting, holding and building on the harmonic that only we as a group, all of us, all of the attendees and all of the speakers together, and even the staff who are connected, the hotel, can build that resonance, can help those beautiful connections from heaven to earth happen. But at the time of the Akpala awakening, the great giants awakening, we're all part of this. If we don't come together in these groups, these things don't happen as quickly as they can. So coming together is definitely number one. Number two is we're still considering live stream. there may be a potential to live stream, but it's not going to be $99. So please don't compare GISIC to others, because the costs to run it, really are, it's just extravagant. But look at the speakers. This is what the speakers do for their living. They go around the world risking life and limb to tell the truth, and they get taken care of as they should, and they get respected as they should. So the other option is, again, you can buy each individual recording, so you can pick your favorite speaker, let's say from last year, and I think they were only $35 for the full presentation of each speaker. So if that's the only way you can do it, you can do it. But we have to keep information until the actual event, because we're so censored on every platform. And of course, we don't allow it. But this is the way that you can get all the information if you can't physically come in person.
Yes, and I recommend to come in person, because it's all about meeting the frequency, meeting people, meeting the speakers, meeting each other, the gathering, as we were saying at the start, Dani, the gathering of people, meeting each other. So that's the experience. JSIC is an experience.
Yeah, it really is. And again, for people to know that, me as a person, although I'm, loud and can present, etc., I'm actually quite shy, and I don't want to be standing up like they used to make me in church. Stand up, turn around, hug the person behind you. Sometimes you just don't want to do that. You've got to get into it a bit. So I play mad, beautiful, loud music. So when we come up into each session, pretty much I'll put on probably something from the 60s, because that's such high resonance frequency, so much of it is, and it's fun, and the audience is such a vast, I would say, from like, I don't know, 18 years old to 100 easily is the age range. It's everybody that has an interest and connects, and so we do a lot of dancing, and you don't have to, you can just stay in your seat, but everyone's up. There's like, older men and older women, and they're jiving together, and they're just, people are moving. And like, so many people have said to me, I haven't danced in years. And now the first and second year, they're like, the only time I dance is at a JISIC event. Because again, nobody's there to judge you. No one's going to look at you and say you've got no rhythm. And we know, Elena, some of the real ETs, they are rubbish dancers.
I can confirm. Celadon is a good dancer, though.
Oh, is he? Well, he's had a lot of practice moving that body. But yeah, so the dancing is fun, is part of it, and fun, and it also again raises the frequency, yes, which is happening the entire time.
Yes, and talking about dancing, oh my God, the entrance of the speakers, it's something amazing, because it's unbelievable. We got each one to pick our music for our entrance or walk to the stage, and every year is different, and people are just dancing and clapping hands. If you want to see Dr. Michael Sala dancing and moving his little bum, you got to come and see that. He'll go like, oh no. Yes. And Dani, the real showgirl on stage, and it's such an energy. And talking about energy, my last entrance, I picked the most anciently known song in the world, and this song is in Sumerian. And I walked to the stage on this song, and I swear, Dani, I saw people crying. The frequency of it touched all the hearts, and it was the moment, I was kind of a catalyst for what I was, representing. I spoke about Atlantis and etc. People were not only moved to tears, but also they connect with their own memories. And I got so many feedbacks after that people just connected to their own memory. And wow, I was the one in tears after reading all these messages. And that's extraordinary. Oh, and when Jean-Charles Moyen comes in, It's an ovation. It's beyond crazy, crazy. And Tony Rodriguez, Tony wants to hug everyone, everyone. He's compassion incarnated. He is amazing, you know, someone who suffered as much as Tony, and it's a lot. It's a lot. You see him, and he's only hugging and love and teddy bear and wanting to be with everyone. It's really, really, really moving. Oh, really moving. And the list is long, but everyone's entrance has something unforgettable, unforgettable, unforgettable.
Yeah, yeah. There's other beautiful things. There's again this other speaker, which will be another world first. We've got several world firsts. We've got Tony Rodriguez and his new information on remote technology, which is world first, leading edge. He's ahead of everybody in remote viewing. He's proving that, and he'll be there with his book too. We've got this other speaker that we can't reveal yet. We think we might be able to get him only at this point on a live Q&A, but you will all know who it is. We have Dan Willis, again, bringing the absolute leading edge forefront evidences on how to extend that frill energy and what the ETs are working with him and Elena on presenting to humanity for the betterment of our beingness. And the fourth, there's 4 world firsts that are happening on the stage. The fourth one is missing my mind right now, but I think that's pretty good. That's a lot of world firsts. I've just named 3. Yeah, amazing. And also, guys, I really do want you to know the truth to reality, as Alex Collier has confirmed himself, and he will also be there for the whole 3 days. Alex Collier, the great Andromedan, that Space Force will be there. The Earth Alliance will be there. Senior members of the good, loving military will be there. We will have security there. And it will just be the most beautiful, loving, safe environment. Only, you know, sometimes people, they get a little bit confused about who they are, and that's all right. But just don't make a nuisance. And we don't want people going, come and meditate with me. I'm head of the Ashtar whatever, and here is my pregnant woman with babies from Ashtar. Those kinds of silly nonsense things, please, you know, they need to stay in the 80s, in the 1980s. It's not real, it's not reality, it's not true, and it's confusing for people. And, you know, everyone is there to be looked after, to be protected, to not be misled. So if you do think you are the king of the universe and all the galaxies, this is not the conference for you, my love. Elena, what do you say to that?
I said, totally agree. It's about humility and being who we are. And humility of being who you are is in the sense of not pretending being something else. But when you discover who you are, you discover also that you are something extraordinary and extraordinarily important, as we all are. So the humility is in the journey within, and the acceptance of being only who we are, only in brackets, because we are a lot. And that will be the subject of my talk, consciousness. Who are we? And every year I speak about technologies. I disclose extraterrestrial technologies. And this year also, the technology will be the organic technology of consciousness. What is consciousness? How does it work? And who are we? And this is going to be also groundbreaking, and I can't wait to tell you all about it.
So incredible, just so incredible. You know, there was a particular lady that came last year, and I saw her, and she was a great, big, beautiful, effervescent, you know, very, very determined to be seen by everybody, and so lovely. And I saw her, and I walked straight up to her, and I gave her a hug, and I said, hello. And then I was going in to do the next session with the mic in my hand, but I made a point to give her a hug and let her know I'd seen her, you know. And then she went to someone there and said, I'm so upset they don't see who I am, because she had a very big title for herself and she wanted everyone to see her. And so I said to the lady, I saw her. I saw who she was. She is love. She is love. And again, it's remembering that, you know, it doesn't matter if we call ourselves Princess Tatiana from Tati Farty Land. It doesn't matter. You know, we take that label so seriously, but we're all part of the great creation, the great creative expression in these vessels. So if someone doesn't instantly recognize you in your off-planet name that you attach to, it's okay, you know. So I just saw her as love, you know, and that's okay. That's enough. Is that not the greatest honor to be seen as love? I mean, really?
A great man whose name is Ia once told me, the name we've bore once vanish into the ether of oblivion, but our actions are what is going to get imprinted in the network, the lattice of the universe, and will remain forever.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, indeed.
So, Dani, so I can't wait to be there with everyone, and I look forward to see you all who are watching this video there, as in the measure of your capability, if you are living near or far, or, you know, but make an effort, because this is going to be a great gathering once again. And every year the level is higher. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, definitely. And again, we've got people all over the world. And I only just started a Facebook group, so I do invite you guys to join it. And if you just go to our email, our website is info@Galactic Spiritual Informers. info@galacticspiritualinformers.com. Just email and the team will let me know, those of you that we can point to my Facebook group, because there are people in there connecting and traveling with each other. There's also, and it's private, everybody is screened obviously in there. And then Disco Tina, her handle is @DiscoTina1111, and that's her Telegram handle, so you can connect with her. And she's putting people into French, Italian, German, English, speaking groups, and just, I mean, they've got book clubs going, they're reading. There's so much connected to the Digisic group or brand, whatever you want to call it. Love connection, for many people to find something. And again, on the website, sign up to the newsletter, connect to the global tribe or connection, so that you don't miss out on the latest video or information on a speaker or new technology coming out, things that we can't put on YouTube or even Rumble. Rumble's now really heavily, well, it always was, really heavily policed. I was signed out of my Rumble channel the other day, and that was not me, but that's all right. We're at the end of the war, guys. Don't forget, we're in a spiritual war, but we already won, because a lot of people look down the timeline and guess what? It's us. We win. We won. So thank you, Elena Danan, so much. I'm so delighted to be on your channel, and I can't wait to see all you guys out there physically at GISIC, Galactic Spiritual Informers Connection. Get your tickets today.
It's gonna be fun. See you there, everyone. GISIC is more than a conference, it's a gathering. The C in GISIC doesn't mean conference, it's for connection, where people who feel they belong to somewhere else, all the black sheep of the family, all the ones that were told they were crazy, well, we come and we find that in fact we are the normal ones, and we find our soul family.
This convention, this conference, this connection is to bring us all together. We've already had first contact many times over. There's about 15 people in this audience who are real life, full blood ETs.
Being blessed to have a different perspective of another race of beings, they would question why we would do things and why we didn't know better. They would question why we kept giving away our power. They would question, why do you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on?
There's a very real and tangible effort to silence the information. This conference is one of the best vehicles for keeping this information alive and accessible.
And a lot of people can share his experience because before some people joking and mock, and it's not like that now.
I cannot believe that there aren't 50,000 people sitting here right now, because they need to know the truth of their existence, their origins. They need to know how much we're harnessed and controlled, and I had no idea.
GISIC is the absolute leading edge of freedom on planet Earth. This is where you are going to meet those who are so far ahead of where the collective is. This is the group that's moving the needle to take humanity into our true nature of love and freedom.
We are not alone. As a planet, there are other consciousness, other people, other civilizations who are here assisting us and who are walking among us.
This is really the premier event on the planet at the moment. Those drawn to this information concerning extraterrestrial life, secret space programs, understand that they're starseeds. They know that they are focused on understanding what their extraterrestrial origins or connections are. GISIC gives an opportunity for people to come to one place for that to happen.
This is my planet, your planet, our planet. My planet, your planet, our planet.
Ahoa, asoa, matioa. Ahoa, asoa, matioa.